What's up, everyone, and welcome to Shared Save the Game Media's weekly gaming discussion podcast. I am your host, Kevin, and on today's episode, we're recapping that Nintendo Direct. We're talking all about PlayStation's Q3 financials and a new Horizon game, and then bad news for Steam Machine fans. It's been delayed. We'll get into all that and more. Before we get to that, got to introduce my co-host, as usual, Sam Heaney. My friend, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. We've been battered by a storm here in the UK for the past 24 hours, so I can hear the rain rat-a-tatting on my window right now and the wind's gusting. You know, I feel like breaking into a bit of like Edgar Allan Poe or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Raven is
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
calling. Yeah.
The Jabberwocky's right there. I see him. But no, I'm doing good. Otherwise, I'm busy. Shock horror, but yeah, much better. Still, unfortunately, not fully over the cough.
Be careful. Make a
I'm
hate
bringing it
comment.
up again. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry
Make
to
a
be
hate
boring,
comments.
everyone.
Yeah.
Oops. We can see the comments. Oh my god, goodness me. Yes, but it's still there. It's not as bad. Clearly, I sound a lot better, but everything else is recovered. So, how about you? Are you doing well?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Almost the weekend. Looking forward to that. Work's going well. Just got a chill weekend. Super Bowl's this weekend. Now, of course, you know that.
Of
Who
course, of course, of
who's
course.
playing in the Super Bowl, Sam?
Those guys versus them.
Yes, of course, yes. The Seahawks versus the Patriots. The Super
That's what
Bowl
I meant.
kicks off at a lovely, I think it's 11:30 p.m. for you. But I'm not a big football guy, but I like the hangout. You know, go hang out with all the family, eat some food that probably shouldn't be eating, but you know, it's like a holiday almost. So
We hear
I'm gonna
Marvel
enjoy it.
aren't coming with any trailers this year. Well, what's that about?
I find that hard to believe, but
You
I
got
I
Spider-Man and Avengers. What are you doing?
I don't know. No idea.
Ridiculous.
But everyone, let's get through housekeeping because we got lots of news to talk about. This is Shared Save. As I mentioned, we are live every Thursday right here on youtube.com/Save the Game Media. If you can't catch us live, what's every Sunday on your favorite audio platform of choice, while you're there, please drop us those reviews. It does help us grow and get into that algorithm. If you want to support us even further, get early audio access to all of our content, exclusive bonus shows, and the exclusive privilege of submitting topics and questions for for this episode and our exclusive content, head over to patreon.com/save the game media. Choose the tier that's right for you, like our current supporters. So thank you to Sam Hall, Alpaca Tom, Rick Davis, Silkenit, Dave Harp, David Hotright, Lillian, Marcus O'Neill, Brendan Myers, aka the Winter Gamer, Nikolai Knight, Fabulous Brianna, Brandon, Black Wyver, David Burdett, Dinglebomp, Brian Eck, and Savoy Prime. Thank you all for your support. We appreciate each and every one of you. Sam, why don't we jump straight into it? What have you been playing?
A number of things, Kev. Now, you know, the past few weeks I've been talking a lot about playing Avatar Frontiers of Pandora for the DLC.
Yeah.
I was done with that. I regret to inform you, I was not done with that.
Oh no. How is that possible?
Well, I mean, I finished up the DLC that came out, the tie-in for the movie, and I got an email earlier today from one of the editors, and they were like, "So you did such a fantastic job on that one. How about you do the other two DLCs as well?" I'm
Oh
like,
my
"Didn't they
gosh.
come out like 7 or 8 months ago?" And they're like, "Yeah,
We never covered them though, so get on
yeah,
it.
yeah." So they were like, "Can you do that?" And I was like, "Well, I don't really want to." But then the rate that they offered me was
Yeah.
too good, you know? So I was like, "Ah, wow, you got
Then
me
they
there."
flashed me a check, you know?
They did. So I was like, "Ah, I guess I'll do it. That's fine." So I've played again maybe like 2 hours of that since I got that email earlier. But the main things I've been playing, little spattering of things, for no reason whatsoever. I thought I just, you know, had an itchy trigger finger and dove into a bit of Wolfenstein 2.
Mm.
You know,
Mhm.
again for no reason whatsoever.
So it's a good
Um,
game.
yeah, I mean, it's a very good game, you know, and there's no other reason. And I'm maybe like halfway through the campaign. Oh, I finished it obviously when it came out, but I forgot how good that game is. You know, I think the again, not saying Indiana Jones is a bad game, but I would say I vastly prefer Wolfenstein to Indiana Jones. Um, so it's good to hear that apparently they're wanting to round out that trilogy. That was that news that was circulating earlier today. That was pretty sick. So good for Machine Games. Excited for Wolfenstein 3. Timely as well, you know. Something else that's timely is Lego City Undercover. You know, I'm a big Lego guy, if you couldn't tell. And it's one of the few Lego games that I actually haven't played before. I've 100% and platinum most of them in my day, but Undercover is one that I haven't, and I'm again maybe like 55% fully complete on it. Taking my time just as a little de-stressor every evening, and that's a bundle of fun, nice little open world to explore. Cool mechanics. And then the other one, I've talked about it before as one of my most played games of all time, but I've dove back into Terraria, not just
Mhm.
for leisure, because there was a big update that came out recently. So I did want to venture into that. But I have also, in addition to all the stuff that I'm already doing on Terraria, I don't have to say all the additional stuff I'm doing at IGN. That's what I meant to say. My brain
Mhm.
fried. I don't know how to say no, Kev. I don't know whether you know this. Um,
Take
I
note,
don't have
everyone.
any boundaries.
Mhm. Okay.
So I was like, "Oh, I'm doing all of this work already." And then, somebody at IGN was like, "So, like, the Terraria wiki could do with, like, a little bit of an update." And, yeah, now I'm doing that as well. So, I am working my way through that, although that is admittedly I'm far more passionate about that because I actually really like the game, and I know
Mhm.
it like the back of my hand, so I can whittle through these pages like nobody's business. So that's also consumed a fair amount of my time over the past couple of days.
Well, Rick Davis in the chat asks a question. He says, "Are you freelance, Sam, or like a normal hourly employee with IGN, or whatever the term would be?"
I mean, the amount of hours that I work, you would be, I wouldn't be surprised if you thought that I was full time, but I am just a freelance writer. I am essentially working full time. They always have me on something, which is a very privileged thing. I love doing it. I'm doing multiple things at once almost all the time now as well, which is a lot to juggle. But yeah, I'm not necessarily, we've talked about this before. I'm not necessarily
Mhm.
actively trying to get a job there, but if one showed up, because of how, without blowing smoke up my ass, how consistent I am, I wouldn't say no to it.
Mhm.
But that's not really the goal. It's just something that I'm clearly very like good at. I've got the knack of it now. I know how to do it efficiently, and I enjoy doing it. So
Mhm.
that's that.
Yes, yes, we have talked about that in the past, but for anyone new here, right? Because we've talked about it on other shows, I know
Mm.
for a fact. Well, enjoy your IGN work. I'm glad they're treating you well.
Mm.
All right, I'm glad they're paying you.
That's right. Yes.
Yes, yes. I have played a lot of games this
Oh,
week.
oh.
A lot of games. I will start with the game that probably have the least amount to say, and that is the Until Dawn remake, which I have wrapped up. That is my 10th game completed of this year. Um, I I think it's fine. I don't hate it as much as like reviews came. Like I don't really see the big discrepancy between the original and this one. Like I think the remastered graphics or whatever they want to call it, like looks a little off to me at
Sure.
certain points. But like there's some weird camera angles, weird decisions that they change things for no reason, but like ultimately not like nothing ultimately impacts the game where I'm like, oh, the story is so much different. Everything's like it's fine. Clearly they want to do more with this IP. Whether that happens in the future, we'll wait to see. But enjoyable enough experience to revisit. And I chose we got different things for the most part, except Ashley. My wife tends to always just lead her to her doom. Even I'm like you,
Mm.
I'm like you make this decision every time. Like, do you not remember Ashley being murdered every time? She
Maybe they
doesn't.
get a kick
So
out of it.
yeah, she hates Emily, and I get it because I hate Emily too. Horrible, horrible character.
I think, yeah, I mean, I get it, but like, I think the hate's a bit overblown. You know?
Nah, she's annoying.
Okay.
Treats Matt poorly in that game.
That
So
is true. That is true.
yes, yes. So wrap that up. I have also wrapped up, and I did this in one day. Don't judge me. DC Justice League Cosmic Chaos.
Do you just ask me to not judge you for playing a game like that?
Yeah. This is a game from Outright Games, who aren't the best game developers or publisher. They tend to make, I don't want to call it shovelware, but it's like a step above shovelware, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not great products. They're very license based. Like they tend to get a lot of TV licenses. They aim at children more often. I was surprised at how long this one is. This might be the longest Outright Games game I've ever seen. Like I think this took me around 8 hours. So, and there's probably more content in here too, because this is a full, like, I don't want to say open world, but like action RPG mechanics. Like they tried a little bit here. All right, they tried. There's a gear system.
Whoa.
I will say the game is very simple. Like you just hit the X button to attack, and then you have like 2 buttons for special moves. You can only play as Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. They feel a little bit different, but ultimately, like, they're kind of the same at the end of the day. Story's bad. They make some cool references to like the lore of the superhero. Like, I don't know. It's not a great game, but I was bored. I had nothing else to do, so I played through it. And yeah, and that's that. Don't
Gotta do it
recommend.
sometimes.
Sometimes you got to play a 5
You do.
to know what a good game looks
It's like a palate cleanse.
It was a palate cleanser for sure. I have also jumped into A Quiet Place: The Road Ahead. This is on PS Plus. I've only played less than an hour, and my PS5 says that I'm like 20% done. So I'm like,
I've heard it's short.
Very short, like very short game. Nothing's really happened so far. Like it keeps telling, like, oh, be quiet, but like no monsters have shown up. I've never even heard a monster. We've kind of just like walked around and solved some menial puzzles. So I'm just like, when does the game start? But I'll report back once I get further into it. Where do I go next? There's 3 games, and I'll go with Ready or Not. I've been playing Ready or Not with some friends, and I it sold. I expected it to be a lot better than it actually is. I want to say it's like a $40 game. And for anyone that doesn't know, it's like a first-person shooter, but it's almost like a
Tactical sort
yeah,
of.
it's like a SWAT simulator kind of, where you and I think it's up to 5 players can all jump into like a I just saw on our stream here that it cut out for some reason, and I don't know why. But you can jump into it and you can go through missions, and it's like, oh, take down the people holding up the convenience store, and then they start escalating, like, oh, they've taken over the street, like, you gotta break into this building or whatever. And oh, it's $50 for regular, 70 for the deluxe edition, so even more than I thought. I don't think it feels great. Like the movement's clunky, slow. Like you can't jump, you can't sprint. The gunplay is mediocre. It's kind of fun with friends, like trying to be tactical. Be like, all right, you two go this way, you two go this way, and we'll like try to sandwich them, arrest people. But I don't know. It's fine. It's a fun time to play through as long as you have a group of friends. But I really did expect more. Just like I didn't hear about all these issues with it.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard through the grapevine that it's got, not that this matters at all for the kind of game that it is. I've heard that it's got like a fairly compelling like lore to it, of like the underlying narrative that links all the missions together. But when you're playing, it's like that doesn't really matter, especially if you're playing with friends. So
I don't know. If there's lore, I'm not getting it, because like we just go to the mission briefing room and like, oh, you gotta arrest this person, kill this person, find these things in the area, and then you just go. Like I'm not seeing a connection throughout the missions, but maybe it's going over my head. Maybe I don't know. Maybe
I think it's like
dive
environmental storytelling and stuff like that. That's the key. So again, if you're not looking for it, I don't think you'll find it.
Yeah, me and the boys are just going in and taking them out. Yeah, kind of. Listen, I tell them to get down. If they don't get down, what can I do?
Yep.
All right. Time for the good and the bad. I'm gonna go with the bad first.
Oh,
I jumped into High Guard, Sam.
I mean, hey, Took over the team.
I only play a few matches, so don't. I'm not the end all be all of the authority of High Guard. I will say it's fine. It's not a good game. It's not a bad game. It's not offensive in any way. And I almost think that's worse because it is maybe the most forgettable game you could play in terms of free to play shooters. And I think it has a bit of an identity crisis. Maybe people have heard this before, but like, I just think the structure of the game is very strange. In case you didn't know, you have like phase one, and phase one is, hey, you and the homies on the team are going to reinforce the base,
Mm.
and that essentially just means you walk up to a wall and then you make the wall a little stronger, but like they can still break through the wall very easily. It's kind of a pointless thing. You're supposed to use it to like funnel them into certain areas, but
Yeah.
okay, whatever. You do that for like a minute, and then the next phase is, we're going to open the bubble shield. You're all going to go out into the world and you're going to loot. And this is probably maybe my biggest issue with the game, is that you spend like 2.5 minutes or something. You get loot, you get guns, and like, the gunplay's fine. I don't think, like, I didn't really find a gun I liked using, but like, you start with grays. And then once you have that, it's like, oh, a sword breaker appears, and then you have to go like engage the other team trying to win this. And then it becomes like almost capture the flag, get this thing, and then you take it to their base, and then you have to use that to break into their base. And then once you're in there, it becomes like search and destroy, and you got to find generators and plant a bomb, defend the bomb, and blow it up. And if you do that, you take 30 off their health. And then if you don't do it, you get 30 off your health for some reason. Doesn't make any sense. They didn't do anything. So then you repeat that, do everything again. And when you get to the loot phase, now instead of grays, you get blues or purples or oranges, like, because you just keep repeating this over and over again. And I'm just like, it's just not a compelling gameplay loop for me. I don't understand the point of the loot system, especially because everyone's getting like, oh, they're going to get their blues now, we're going to get our blues now. Like, you might as well just give people loadouts. I really don't understand the point of the loot, because it just seems pointless, because you're usually always at a level playing field with the other team because they're getting their loot boxes. And then really at that point, it's like, okay, you may get RNG and get a higher grade weapon, and then that'll give you a slight advantage, but then you just go fight again and see which one can come out on top. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't think High Guard has any staying power. I know they added the 5v5. That's what I jumped into. I didn't even play the 3v3, but like, big maps, the mount is okay to move around with, but like, there's nothing here that's engaging. And I put a thing on Blue Sky. I was like, I think Concord and Battleborn are both better than High Guard. Take of that what you will.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah. But the game that is good, and I might say great even, Cairn, or Carn, or however you say it. It's a French word. I don't know. It's from the Game Bakers. Cairn.
Yeah.
Cairn. Sam, phenomenal game. I rolled credits on this. It's going to be hard to knock it out of my top 10 come the end of the year, where we're doing our conversation for games of the year, for sure.
Spicy.
I doubt it will. Currently, it's my game of the year because not many things have come out, right? But like, I genuinely did not expect to love this game as much as I did, because and I'm gonna plug a little here, okay? It's not for our channel. I just did a 25-minute conversation about this game with a friend of the show, Sean Capri, over at Carpool Gaming. That'll go up on their Game of Our Year feed, the GUIs as they call it. And I'm not kidding, they call it the GUIs. So I talked extensively about it, but for anyone not listening to them, I think this game is phenomenal. It's so much more than a climbing game, and I almost feel like the trailers have done it a disservice the way they've promoted it, because they do spend a lot of time focused on climbing the mountain and the mechanics, and like, when really they should be positioning this as like an emotional narrative story that has like climbing in it, because what kept me going was the feeling of accomplishment, success. It almost has a Souls-like element to it, where
Oh,
at the end of the game, it tells you how many times you fell during your climb. And I've seen people that have fallen off the mountain 500, 600 times. I fell 151 times. I got
mm,
back up every time and I kept going, because then you get the mountain isn't like a giant one thing. Like you have to climb it all at once. It's divided into sections. Like you hit this peak and then you go here, and then like there's little ruins to get some lore and background going on. But like you fall, you get up, you climb. And then once you get basically at every little peak, you get a narrative story beat where he plays Ava and she is trying to climb the mountain. She's like a famous mountain climber,
right.
and she's sitting there. She's like, all right, I'm going to climb this mountain no one's ever made to the summit before. And the whole time you have your little buddy Climb Bot along with you. He's like a little robot, and he gets like phone calls and messages for you. And the whole time you'll have people like leaving you messages being like, why are you doing this? Like, why did you leave? You know, are you going to make it back in time for so and so? Like, we don't know how much time they have left, or like, so the whole game really is an emotional journey for Ava to figure out like why she needs to climb this mountain, why she's not okay with failure, like what is she running away from? Maybe like there's so
Mm,
many narrative beats here that I do not think the game bakers did a great job at like conveying, because when I look at trailers and stuff, I'm like, oh, this is a climbing game. This is like Jusant, like a puzzle. And I'm like, no,
sure.
this should be first and foremost a narrative based game with excellent gameplay mechanics.
Mm, interesting. I mean, it's certainly been on my radar. I think we're both fans of Game Baker's previous stuff. How would you say it ranks compared to something like Fury or Haven?
So I would say it's my favorite of their three. And
Oh,
and that is high praise for me, because I liked Fury. I really liked Haven.
mm,
I would say I think I love Karen.
wow.
I would put it up there, just because I think the storytelling is so good. The characters are fantastic, and then I looked at the game and I was like, oh, it's like a climbing game, really? Like that's we. I don't know. Other people might have had this reaction too, right? Like that's so different from their previous work. Like I don't know if that's for me, the type of game I like to play. And I know you like Jusant, right?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like I didn't play that, so I didn't, going into this, I didn't know if I was going to like click with it. And I would say within the first hour of playing, I was like, I'm fully in. Like everything's clicking. It feels good, feels challenging, feels rewarding. And there's like you can tweak it to make it more accessible. You can make it harder if you want to, but like the gameplay really does from a I like when the gameplay mechanics tie into the overall narrative that they're trying to tell, and I feel like it really works here.
Interesting.
So
It's on my
check it.
wish list. It will be something I get to eventually. I was gonna play it anyway, regardless, but after the strong reviews and now your recommendation, I think I have to get as soon as I get Avatar out of the way, that will be the first game I play.
It's probably not a bad thing for you to wait a little bit, because they do
Mm,
have some optimize. This is my only critique.
right.
They need to optimize the game a little bit.
Okay.
I hear base PS5 is a little iffy. I'm not sure how the Pro does. You have a Pro, right?
I do.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the Pro does. I know for AMD graphics cards on PC, specifically the 9000 series, which I have, optimization was in the toilet. They actually had to put out like a little notes and be like, okay, go into your launch settings and put in this little piece of code. And now instead of 38 frames per second, you'll get 90 and 80, and then but you also get dips occasionally into like the
Mm,
50s, so you like notice it a little more. They have to work on that, but otherwise like it didn't ruin my experience. I can look past all that stuff because I think it was so like it was fun, engaging, challenging, and then the no emotional story beats kept hitting me over and over again.
mm.
And no spoilers, but the ending, beautiful, phenomenal.
Interesting.
I think you especially would
Oh.
appreciate the ending.
Oh. You got me excited, Kev. You got me excited.
Silken is here. He says, I think Karen is a 2026 must play. I would agree.
See, I'm with Silkanet most of the time in terms of taste, so
Yeah.
now I have to play it.
It, it's for sure. I think should be a must play for people, even if you're looking at it normally and like I don't know about this climbing mechanic. Trust me, the survival mechanics in it again, not something I love
Mhm.
survival, but I thought they handled it very well. Like you have nice indicators of like, oh, you need to bandage up your fingers because they're bleeding. And there was one time like I was completely ignoring this and I shouldn't have because it slipped my mind, right? Like I didn't think
Sure.
about it. But my hands got so like I had a symbol. It was like you basically can't hold anything right now. You have to you have to get to a camp.
Mm.
So like I went to the camp and I had so many cuts and like open wounds on all my fingers, and I was like, ugh, I had to wrap them all up. But like you can do like unique stuff with the cooking system, which manages like your health and stamina and your hunger. You can like, oh, I found this weird plant. I'm gonna put it in my water and like brew it, and it'll might make an awesome drink that like gives you more grip and focus and stamina.
Okay.
Like there's just cool stuff like that. And I will say everyone's playthrough is going to be completely different because there's so many routes you can take and there's
Mm.
so many like hidden areas to find. Like in my playthrough I found these gloves that glow in the dark, so they give me better grip strength and they help me see at night so I can like continue my climb at night. I
Ooh.
popped into Sam Hall, he was streaming over on Twitch. He didn't have the gloves, but he had this like pinwheel thing that let him know like when a storm was coming so he could like lock down he just had completely, he had
Awesome.
tomatoes, and I was like, I never once found a tomato. Where'd you get tomatoes? So like everyone's path is going to be completely different, and I think that's fantastic because it gives a lot of replayability, but also like it's going to be your own unique experience.
Nice.
Yeah, so highly recommend that one, everyone. But that is all I've been playing. Why don't we jump into the news? 27 minutes into the show, we're going to start with the most pressing topic, and that is today's Nintendo Partner Direct recap. So, for anyone that doesn't know, Nintendo held a Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase today, and we're going to go through everything that was announced. Before we do that, Sam, did you watch it? And what were your overall thoughts on the presentation, especially because I know you don't have a Switch 2?
No. I did watch it. I don't know that it was particularly strong of a show. Um, Obviously that's entirely subjective. I think the real thing that drug it down for me, because there were a few highlights throughout. I really don't think that the Bethesda one more thing was a good way to go. Um, Particularly because most of the ports that they announced are for games that already run like trash. So I
Fair.
don't have much hope for a Switch 2 version to run well. But yeah, I think most of the stuff in the show looked good, but wasn't for me.
Hmm.
So I was like, I can take it or leave it. I know that it was a partner direct, so it wasn't meant to be like the prime time big stuff. I do think it's a bit disappointing that like something like the Dust Bloods didn't show up.
Hmm.
But I imagine that inevitably in a few months' time there will be another direct and it will be there. So
Yeah, there's already rumors that like they're gonna have another like a general direct in like a few weeks.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw people talking about the beginning of March. There might be a more generalized direct because they do have stuff they need to date from like a first party perspective, and a third party perspective. You mentioned the Dusk Bloods. We do need more information on that. These partner showcases, I always go into them expecting mainly ports and maybe like a few smaller game announcements. I walked away like happy, just because I didn't go into it expecting like, oh my god, we're gonna get amazing, like one of the best Nintendo Directs ever. But I walked away fine. A few games I'm interested in picking up, not necessarily on Nintendo Switch.
Sure.
But I didn't really have a major issue with it, as I've seen some people criticize this pretty heavily online, and I think that just it comes to expectations. Like I don't go to a indie world direct expecting to be blown away, so
Mm,
that's kind of how I feel about this partner showcase as well.
very true.
So let's jump into it. We started with Orbitals. This is an old school anime inspired co op game, a haze
He's
like,
like,
if
yeah.
you will, coming exclusively to Nintendo Switch 2 this summer.
Ooh.
We got a deep dive trailer into this. It is very It Takes Two split fiction coded, where they showed off some of the mechanics, like, oh, you use your heat beam to melt ice, you'll use like a lasso to pull platforms for your teammate that you're working with, or you can like combine them and like melt steel beams and pull them to make it like everything they were showing to me. I was like, yes, this is what I want. Like, not only do you have this a beautiful, amazing anime art style, but like you are giving me the split fiction It Takes Two co-op puzzle solving platforming. Like, that's all I want from this game. If they can nail the story, this could be one of my favorite games of the year. So I'm all in on this one. This was a day one for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks fantastic. We knew from the reveal trailer that it had a really awesome art style, and I think that carries through into the gameplay from what we've seen. I remain cautiously optimistic. I am concerned that it's emulating the Haze-like so much, that I wonder how it will measure up to those kind of games. But if it even manages to get close, I think that that's still an accomplishment. So it is a bummer that it's only on Switch 2, but I think it's probably highly likely to be a very good get for Switch 2. So
Yeah, I do wonder if this is a like a timed exclusive thing and it'll come to other platforms, or it's like they can only because I'm not even sure who the developer is. I've heard it, but I'm not familiar if this is like their first game or if they've done other
mm,
stuff. So like, is this a budget thing where, hey, we're developing for Switch because that's the biggest audience, and if it does well there, then like maybe we bring it to PlayStation, PC, stuff like that.
yeah, I mean, I could see it. I'm not optimistic though. I feel like there are those cases where there just aren't any, like things like, no, I mean, obviously not the same, even slightly, but Ultimate Alliance 3, like that seems like the kind of game that would have inevitably made sense
Yeah.
to go multi-platform eventually, but it never has. Um, so even like Bayonetta and things like it's like I don't know. I would love to see it, but I think that it might be a Switch permanent exclusive. So
Yeah, well, it's one of those games. I'm grabbing this for Switch too, for sure. Like, I'm
yeah.
not even gonna wait because I want to play this so much.
Mhm.
Silicon says, as long as it copies Halo mechanics and not the writing, they'll be fine. Damn, I don't mind the writing. I think the writing here might be better, especially if they go for like the anime '80s kind of writing. Then
Yeah, if
we're
they
good.
it feels like it's leaning into it a bit more than a
Yeah,
Haze-like game might be. So Haze-likes, I typically I would agree. I think that they might go a little bit too far on the self-serious side of things. And it gets a bit cliche and cringy sometimes, but we can't deny the gameplay. So,
well, next up, we got Paranorma The Mermaid's Curse, coming February 19th to Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch. This is actually coming to both. I don't know if this is on other platforms. It might be. Did this do anything for you?
no, no, not really. It gave me in the initial parts of the trailer like a almost like Professor Layton type
Mm.
idea of, or like Phoenix Wright or something like that. But yeah, no, I sort of checked out of the trailer pretty much as soon as it really started going. So,
It is coming platforms Android, iOS, PC, and Switch, it says.
mm,
So it's not coming to PlayStation or Xbox. I've heard of Paranormal like
so have I.
in passing. This is not at all what I thought this game was, though. Like, when I saw this, I was like, really? That this is like a detective game? Okay, as I was under a completely different complete misconception of what was this game was.
Yep.
This one's not for me either, though.
No.
Captain Tsubasa 2 World Fighters gets a gameplay trailer reveal. This is coming sometime this year to Switch and Switch 2. This is the sequel to Captain Tsubasa. This is an anime soccer game that I've often looked at and wondered, should I jump into this because I love anime and I love soccer, but I never have. I assume this is not a Sam game.
No. Are you kidding me? Anime and soccer? Oh my god, they're my two favorite things.
Mm, Listen, you gotta do the UK proud, okay?
No.
It's coming home this summer, I hear.
D- Listen, I'm going to leave them to their delusions, okay? We've been saying that since 66.
Next up, we got a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive game called Tokyo Scramble. This is, how do I phrase this nicely?
Yes, how do you?
Yeah, it's a survival horror game with dinosaurs. I think I will put it. It's coming February 11th, so in 6 days this is releasing, and I want to be nice, but this trailer was hot garbage.
Yeah.
The game was running at like 15 frames a second. I don't think it looked like didn't look good at all. Like the optimization was poor, the character models were poor, the dinosaurs were, I don't know what they're doing. And then they said, oh, you can play 4-player co-op with game share, and people can like control the camera, and one person can control the character, and the other people can control like, I'm like, what game share co-op into this game? It's just nothing here worked for me.
Well, joke's on you because this is actually the game that's convincing me to get a Switch 2. So
I would love if this was the game that convinced you to get a Switch 2. I think that'd be funny.
yeah, it would.
Yeah. And then I want you to play it and review it.
It's like,
damn. Tokyo Scramble coming in a week for anyone interested. This is, I want to say, the port segment up next. Valheim's coming this year. It's on all their other platforms. If you don't know what Valheim is, you've been sleeping under a rock. It's a Viking survival game. Nothing for me here.
Nope.
Hollow Knight got a Switch 2 upgrade shadow drop. It is available right now. It's also available on other platforms. I saw that the PS5 got a new trophy list, so you can replay that if you want to replay Hollow Knight on the on PS5. I assume it also got upgraded on Xbox. It is a free upgrade, I believe, everywhere. So enjoy the upgraded Hollow Knight.
Amen.
eFootball coming summer to Switch 2. This is don't play this game. eFootball's garbage. I listen. I don't know what else to say. Like, just don't play. Like, FIFA's one thing. eFootball is so much worse. Just don't even waste your time.
Play Captain Tsubasa instead.
I honestly, yes, play Captain Tsubasa instead. The ranking would go probably FIFA rematch, Captain Tsubasa. Then you can go to eFootball.
Yeah. Nice.
The Adventures of Elliot the Millennium Tales coming June 18th, 2026 is an HD 2D game from Square Enix. This is their take on old school Zelda. You'll go through 4 different eras, and I think it looks really good. I don't know if it's I'm not a big old school Zelda guy, so I don't know if this is like a game for me, but I got it in most of my fantasy critic leagues. So come on, baby. Gonna score pretty well.
I have counterpicked it, so
yeah, I think you're gonna lose some points there, buddy.
I think I'm expecting to, but I think the justification that I gave for counterpicking probably still stands in that it does look good, but I think that it is an untested thing. It's like it could swing either way. I said that during the draft of like, this is either going to be like a high 80s or like a mid 70s. So I'm just hoping for the latter.
Yeah, I don't. If I had to guess, like 84.
I think so.
Yeah, probably right around there. This art style, like they've really nailed this HD 2D look. I love it. Super Bomberman Collection is shadow dropped onto Switch and Switch 2, and I assume other consoles got this as well. I did not look. You can play all of the old school Bomberman games, and by old school I mean like the SNES and stuff like that. I wouldn't say I'm a Bomberman fan. I like Bomberman 64. I even played some of the, what's that PlayStation one, Bomberman R or something. So I have some familiarity with Bomberman, but I'm not like, oh my god, I can't wait to go play the old school Bomberman games.
The famous star of Metal Gear Solid Delta as well, but only on the Xbox version.
Yes, where you have to catch Bomberman.
That's right.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming to Nintendo Switch 2. We also got a release date. It's coming June 3rd, 2026. The remake just came out, I want to say last week on Xbox and Nintendo Switch. So now you get to play this one in just a few months. This is also confirmed for Xbox. So looks like PlayStation's exclusivity is done from what we're hearing. The third one is looking to be simultaneously dropped on
Indeed.
all platforms, apparently.
Yeah.
So good get. I'm not gonna play this on Switch 2. Like I'm good playing on PS5, but I'm happy more people get to experience this wonderful game.
Amen.
And now Capcom decides, hey, you haven't seen enough Pragmata. We're gonna have to. We gotta show you more Pragmata. I'm excited for Pragmata. I want to play it, but you're driving me insane, Capcom. If I'm expecting a state of play next Thursday, and to see Pragmata again, and I'm gonna lose it.
You know it's going to happen.
It looks good. All right, I don't need to see anymore. Stop showing it to me.
Yeah.
There's a Diana amiibo coming as well, April 24th.
Oh boy.
Turok Origins is announced for Switch 2 coming fall 2026. This is a first or third person co-op Turok game that I didn't think looked particularly great.
I honestly forgot it existed.
We've heard about this before.
Yeah, it got announced at like the Game Awards or something, I think, last year or the year before. And
something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not that I'm expecting much from a Turok game, to be fair, but yeah.
I mean, listen, the fact that it has co-op is like, okay, maybe me and the friends could have some fun
Shoot some
playing
dinos,
yeah,
yeah.
shooting some dinos when it's like really cheap, but like just looking at it, nothing. I don't see who could get excited about what they showed here today. Like, looked very budget.
Yeah, it feels like a worse Exoprimal, and I'm like,
Oh God,
that's a low bar to
yeah.
clear.
Next up, maybe my second, well, definitely my second favorite announcement of the show, Kyoto Xanadu coming this summer. This is Neon Falcom's next entry in the Xanadu series, the sequel, the follow-up to Tokyo Xanadu. It's coming to Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch 2, PC, and PlayStation 5. I think this one looks fantastic. They've changed the Xanadu formula because I'm gonna be honest, Tokyo Xanadu is basically like Persona Light, where it's just it's an action RPG instead of a turn-based one. But you go to school, you have the social elements. This is more, hey, what if we made it a 2D action RPG, like a platformer, and then the boss fights and stuff are 3D, almost Ys-esque. And I think it's a really unique blend they got going on here. So I'm in for this day one.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is see, I was going to make a joke, but I laughed at my own joke before I said it, so now the bit's ruined. Just pretend I didn't laugh though.
Okay, yeah.
Is Olivia Newton-John in this one as well?
I don't understand the reference.
You mean the classic 1980s science fiction film Xanadu?
I've never seen it.
Starring Olivia Newton-John.
Nope, went over my head.
Yeah, I mean, I made a joke in the Discord earlier that it sounds like a character from Neverending Story, and I'm like, that is a good joke.
I don't know what that is.
Unfortunately, didn't land because nobody apparently knows what Neverending Story is either. But
this doesn't look familiar at all.
You know, him trying to rescue Atreyu, the horse from the swamp, and this Falcor, the flying dog dragon, and
no.
Okay. Wow.
What does Xanadu? Excited for it.
It looks all right. Yeah, I had no idea it existed prior to today, but hey, it looked good.
I didn't see it, or I would have laughed.
Thank you. At least somebody appreciates my attempts at humor. Attempts being the key word.
That's one of those games, by the way, that I'm probably gonna play on PlayStation or PC, not Switch. Digimon Storytime Stranger gets a Switch and Switch 2 port coming July 10th. So that game's already out. It scored pretty well from all accounts. It's a good RPG in the Digimon world. So now Switch players can play it. Great.
Nice.
Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok is it's an expanded version of Grand Blue Fantasy Relink coming July 9th, 2026 to Switch 2. It's also going to be available to upgrade for other platforms if you already own the base game. I think it's like a $30 upgrade. So they're promising more content, but from what I've seen, not enough to bring me back. Like I enjoyed my time with Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, but I think I'm good.
I will take your word for it.
It's on PS Plus. You can play it.
Will I?
Maybe. Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection coming March 13th, 2026. This is also coming to all other platforms. It's the next Monster Hunter story game. You can build your team of monsties, they call them. And,
nice, that's cute.
Yeah, yeah, that's cute. Monster Hunter things. I don't know, man. I got nothing really to say about this one. It looks fine. I'm sure it's going to be good. Like the other ones have scored really well. It's just not a series I'm into.
Me neither.
Arcade and console archives revisit classics in 2026. I don't know what this is. I know they said, hey, we're bringing a bunch of like old school games to Nintendo Switch. We had like Cool Borders and a bunch of weird stuff, but
Which is a Sony IP.
Really?
Yeah. So they've licensed out another one of their old sort of dormant, redundant IPs because they did that with like Patapon and Rattata and whatever. So continuing that trend. This wasn't Bandai though, right?
No, this is like, who's this?
Because Bandai handled the other ones.
Hamster Corp.
Bet.
I don't know who Hamster Corp is, but they're bringing arcade and they're bringing like Ninja Gaiden 2, The Dark Sword of Chaos, which I think is already on NSO, but now you'll be able to buy it and download it. So enjoy. Next up, we had a sizzle reel. Is just ports coming to Nintendo Switch. We have Scott Pilgrim EX coming March 3rd. We have another Eden Begins coming to Nintendo Switch summer 2026. Reanimal February 13th. WWE 2K26 March 13th. Star Trek Voyager Across the Unknown February 18th. Disney Dreamlight Valley Nintendo Switch 2 Edition March 25th. PGA Tour 2K25 February 6th. That's tomorrow. Cul-de-sac Begins Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, July 16th. Goat Simulator 3, April 1st. Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun, March 18th. And Tales of Rise Beyond the Dawn Edition, May 22nd. All of those games currently exist elsewhere, so you may have already played them, but now Switch players can also play them.
Good for you guys.
Capcom wow. Capcom came back. Words are hard. Yeah. To remind us, hey, Resident Evil 9 is coming out. And in case you wanted to see the same trailer we already showed you a few times, here it is again, but on the Switch this time. So it doesn't look as good, but it looks okay.
It's cool.
You're gonna play it on PS5.
Yeah, we'll see.
And then, as you said, we ended with a Bethesda triple threat, I will say, which I thought was strange. I didn't expect Bethesda to be the closer, as you were mentioned, just because like they don't have a big history on Nintendo. Even Todd
and for
Howard,
it to be like Todd, especially.
Yeah, Todd was kind of talking about it a little. Like, we're so excited to bring our games to Nintendo, and I'm like, you're talking like a grandma that doesn't even know what everything's a Nintendo, Todd. But Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition is coming later this month, February 24th. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is coming May 12th. And the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered is coming 2026. Again, all those games are currently on other platforms. You may or may not have already played them. I don't really have much to say. Fallout 4 has been out for 11 years, right? Indiana Jones, we both agree, good game.
Mm-hmm.
Oblivion, also a good game.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, it's I am going to be very interested to see how any of these games run. Indiana Jones, very technically sound, no doubt, but I also think that it's quite taxing, and I wonder how that will run. And then, as I alluded, Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition is arguably by far the worst version of Fallout 4, because it's just broken and Bethesda are doing next to nothing to fix it. And Oblivion, I think, is more technically sound, but there were still a number of issues. And it's one of those things. It's one of those games where, like, the longer your save file is, the worse the performance and everything gets. Which is an issue that Bethesda games run into a lot because of all of, like, the individual item physics tracking that they have to do. So we'll see. I hope that they've managed to figure it out, but they haven't had the best technical track record of late. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how those perform on Switch. I can't imagine that's the best way to play it, but also, like, people, I think Skyrim sold really well. Like Witcher
Mhm.
3 sold it. Like the Switch has a the Switch audience shows up for these kind of ports, even if they're not the best place to play them.
Yeah, and no mention of Starfield either.
No, so like I know beforehand they were. I forget who said it, but there was a rumor going around that the Switch 2 version of Starfield has been canceled,
Mm.
but that the PS5 version is coming April 7th, my birthday. So we should expect, and I think Tom Warren at The Verge also put out, like, in his list of what he expects from Xbox this year, which we aren't going to cover, but he was like, "Oh, Halo's in the summer, Gears is at the end of the year, Killen's April. They're going to put out a new controller, and Starfield is going to get new content soon." So maybe we'll hear about it. State of play.
I mean, hey, if Todd Howard can personally show up as a closer to a partner direct for Nintendo, I think that an appearance of any kind at a State of Play is a relatively safe bet. So, yeah, lock it in.
All right. Well, that is it for the Nintendo Direct. Why don't we go to our next topic, Sam? I'm going to throw it over to you. You can talk about either one first, PlayStation's financials or a New Horizon game.
Yeah, I think we'll just, like, rattle through the financials. There's not really much to report here, but we talked about the Xbox quarterly report a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So worth comparing, contrasting a little bit. So the Q3 2025 financial results are as follows: the hardware, they sold around 8 million units. Full game software sold 97.2 million units. First party games sold 13.2 million units. Full game digital download ratio is at 76%. As a physical guy, that's scaring me. And then monthly active PSN users reached, I think, a peak all-time high of 132 million. They did mention as well, specifically in the financial report, that Ghost of Yotei has exceeded the sales of Ghost of Tsushima, time aligned, and significantly contributed to the financial results of this quarter. So, I mean, I put on socials and in the Discord, grifters are in tatters right now, and
Yeah. I put
love to see it.
Where did I put? Let me pull it up real quick. Wrong count. Because I also had a quite good. Oh, I said, remember to check in on your favorite right wing grifter today as they move those goalposts. Admitting you were wrong is woke.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna name names here, but you can find them because they are moving the goalposts already. They're already saying, like, "Oh, well, you're given this specific qualifier to clearly, like, lie to us and, like, still no numbers." Even though, like, if you scroll back in some of their posts, you'll see, like, them being like, Ghost of Tsushima clearly was outselling during the same time frame. I'm like, okay, so the time frame argument is okay when you think Ghost of Tsushima selling better than but when your world is flipped upside down. I don't know. It's the internet is a cesspool.
Yep.
But I'm glad for its success. PlayStation, I think, continues to kill it in the financial report sector.
Yeah, I think
oh, sorry.
the hardware was like 4.4% down year on year. but they're still tracking like relatively close to PS4. So
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Even though like the console sales are down across the board, they still did sell more than the Switch 2 this holiday
mm,
season. Not by much, but I think it was like 8 to 7.4 million or something, right? But still, like PS5 is older and it's outselling the new Switch console. I doubt that'll continue, but it is something to note. And then the fact that when you do the alignment for time, they are basically neck and neck with PS4. Like PS4 is what, the second best selling console of all time. So like if PS5 keeps this up, especially if GTA bolsters it as we all expect come November, we could see not only them make up that 4% drop year over year, but them sail ahead of the PS4 when you count time adjusted, because PlayStation undoubtedly is going to put their console on sale. They're probably going to have GTA bundles. And like if Xbox doesn't respond in kind, right? Like they would need a significant price drop. Like PlayStation is setting themselves up to be the most compelling way for people to jump in, play GTA, and I think that's going to see them skyrocket in sales. Like we talk this time next year, I wouldn't be surprised if they are 120 plus million.
mm. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because, and you have to imagine, like right now, as we speak, Mark Cerny is in like the dark corner of one of Sony's back rooms going, how do we make it so that GTA 6 runs at 60 on a PS5 Pro?
He's
You
asking
know,
Chat GPT.
yeah, exactly right. And it's just sending in pictures of Elon Musk in bikinis and things like that. So like I'm interested to see how this next year goes. It's undoubtedly going to be a very successful year for them. I do wonder what the quarters between now and GTA 6 coming out look like. Because they have a comparatively quite a strong first and third party lineup for this year throughout the year. But I do wonder whether there is going to be a noticeable slump between now and GTA 6. Not that that really matters in the grand scheme of things, but you're going to have the upswing of Wolverine into Grand
Mhm.
Theft Auto, and then you would hope they have things lined up for early 2027 as well. So yeah, I mean, I think the PS4 is what 117 million units or something like that. So I think that ultimately PlayStation 5 will like inevitably exceed that. They're not going to touch PS2 because you're not going to touch PS2. Uh, all
Switch
the
will.
I mean Switch will for sure. I don't think PlayStation 5 will reach where the Switch One is because I think that's
That
135 or something.
no, I think Switch One's at 150 something.
It proves my point even more that they're not going to touch that.
No, I can't see
Um,
them getting. I can see 100, 155.37 as of
Jesus,
December 31st.
Jesus. But yeah, I mean, like, is it? I know the minutia. People were like, is it really a success if it's only just beating PS4? It's like, well, PS4 is
Yes.
considered an unbridled success, so I'm not really sure how that. But
I think it
yeah,
will be PS4. I think it will be PS4.
it will surpass it eventually. I don't know if it will accomplish it by this time next year, even with factoring in GTA. But I imagine that you'll see a noticeable uptick in hardware sales. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see that with Xbox as well, to be clear. But inevitably, PlayStation is going to be the main beneficiary of GTA 6. So,
It's quite possible I'm overestimating how big GTA 6 is going to be at launch, because like I look at GTA 5 now, right? And it's got like 200 plus million copies, right? And like I said, like,
yeah.
okay, this is the only way to play GTA 6, right? Like it's not on PC. You have to pick a console. I think most people will go PlayStation. Like I like what's a reasonable expectation for GTA 6 to sell in its first 2 months? Like it's so hard for me to gauge that. Like I was genuinely thinking like 20 plus million seems pretty reasonable for GTA 6 in its first few months, because
Yeah.
like Elden Ring sold 20, Hogwarts Legacy sold 25 million, right? So you're telling me like GTA 6 can't beat both of those games. So
I mean, that's the thing. It's like it's a meteor, right? It's heading down, and it's difficult to determine how seismic it's going to be. Obviously, PlayStation and Xbox, they're all hoping it to be as seismic as possible. Um, but yeah, I don't think that that's an overly liberal estimation. I think that might even be on the conservative side of things. But we'll see. I mean, we don't know but again, between then and now, are there going to be console price increases? Are they going to say that GTA 6 is going to cost $90 or something?
so
Not that that would inhibit its success, but
no, yeah,
it
yeah.
might curtail it just a little bit.
So I know PlayStation came out and said that they've like acquired stock so they wouldn't be affected by like the RAM and memory shortage, right? Like I don't know how far
I'll
that's gonna
believe it when I see
go.
it.
Yeah, I don't know how far that's gonna go. Like maybe price increases hold off for a while, but
Sure.
like it's still a reality that could exist for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm also thinking like people are going to want Wolverine. That's like the first big superhero game that's exclusive to this generation, right? No, Spider-Man 2 was exclusive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
2.
2.
Yeah.
So Wolverine's a big one. And then people aren't going to think about this one. MLB The Show is leaving past gen behind.
Oh, good point.
This is the new one that's coming out is the first time it's PS5 exclusive. And I know people like that are like, oh, I gotta get a PS5 now because they want to play MLB. Like that's their game. That's
Interesting.
their Madden, their FIFA. They want to play MLB. So I think that could lead people to get a new console as well.
Yeah.
Clearly not a GTA, but I do think those sports games are big drivers for things like that. We saw what college football did.
Very, very true. And obviously, the one that's going to sell the most consoles is Saros.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Why are you apologizing?
It's maybe it hits 2 million copies.
Yeah, in like the first 30 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Quadrillion copies. Heard it here first.
The best-selling game of all time.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Sorrows.
GTA 6 pales in comparison.
And no reason whatsoever.
Hey, plenty of reasons.
Is there anything else you want to talk about for the financials, or you want to talk about this new Horizon game?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, introduce it.
So, out of the blue, almost immediately after the Partner Direct concluded, Sony, in I guess now somewhat classic Sony fashion, just decided out of the blue on socials to announce what the Guerrilla Co-op Horizon game is. It's been in the works for a long time, likely around 6 years of development from like pre-pro into where we are now. Concept art leaked a few years back, showed it was going to be a more sort of animated, cartoony style, and we see that bear out here with Horizon Hunters Gathering, which is a co-op action game being built for PS5 and PC. We don't know when it's coming out. There is no indication, no year, no date, no nothing. But there is a small-scale closed playtest due at the end of this month, which you can sign up for right now via the PlayStation Beta program. I have done that. It's going to have cross-play and cross-progression across PS5 and PC. There is also no word on if it is free to play or a premium game. I think we can probably make a safe bet as to what it will be. And it's a canon game to the Horizon universe. You play as one of 6 characters. There are 3 in the playtest, each with unique abilities and weapons, playstyles. And you are going out on a variety of different mission types to defeat the, titular robotic dinosaurs.
It's Monster Hunter.
It is. It's a 3-player co-op Monster Hunter for all intents and purposes. I've heard people throwing around like Dauntless as well, which I do see. Fair enough. So and a little bit of Night Rain. I've heard people mention Night Rain in the conversation as well with some of the mission types. I think it's safe to say, Kev, that reception thus far has been a little bit mixed. So
Yeah.
I want to know what you think about Horizon Hunters Gathering.
I am. I think I'm also mixed on it.
Mm,
I look at it and think this has everything that like technically makes Horizon,
mm.
right? But also there's some gameplay like abilities and stuff in there that I'm like, I don't I don't remember this in the mainline Horizon game. I like they've clearly amped it up, made it
Horizon 3 is about a wild.
yeah, they've made it more cartoonish. They've upped the animations to match the art style, right? I've seen some pictures that don't paint it in such a good light from the looks of it. Ultimately, I come down and think like this probably isn't a game for me.
Mm,
I've played Monster Hunter. I don't particularly like. I like it for a little bit, then I always fall off. Horizon's gameplay to me has always been like what I enjoy the least, and I know that might be controversial. Like I'm not a big fan of the traps and all the like equipment stuff. I like the story of Horizon fine enough. I do think Forbidden West is a better story than the first one, and
mhm.
again, I know it's controversial,
Agreed.
um, but I'm more here like I think I would rather just say like I think I'd rather just have the third Horizon game wrap up the
Mm,
trilogy. And I know Horizon's a huge IP, and that's clearly why they're making this game. They're trying to capitalize. They haven't had the multiplayer success that they probably thought they would with things like Concord, or rest in peace, like the Last of Us Factions, which they thought was going to come out and be a big hit until they canceled it. I I don't think they're betting on this to be Fortnite, because
no.
this is a PvE game, right? Like there's no PvP elements to this as far as I'm aware, but
Yeah.
like this very much seems to me a probably a $40 co-op multiplayer experience that they will lightly support, probably like new missions and stuff, but like I don't see this being the live service, hey, we got to dedicate a whole studio to putting out content for this. Like if this sells well, maybe they make a sequel a la Monster Hunter, right, like they do. But I'm not overly offended by this existing, as I've seen some people be like, how dare Gorilla make this at the same time they're making other games, right? Like I don't know. It's fine. I don't love the art style. I'm not the audience for this.
Yeah. I mean, I share mostly the same sentiment. Um, I'm, as we both said earlier with the partner direct, we're not Monster Hunter guys. I can appreciate it from the outside, but the idea of monster hunting kind of just doesn't appeal to me with the amount of hoops you have to jump through. That being said, this does look like a slightly more like casual version of Monster Hunter,
For
which
sure.
could work. And obviously, it's been talked about a lot of a Horizon Monster Hunter game would make tons of sense, and we essentially have that here now. Um, I sent a message to a friend of mine who is a very big Horizon fan, like myself, and we were talking about like what his opinions were, and he was pretty hostile to it.
Oh damn.
Um, and he said the same as you, where he was like, I kind of just would prefer to have Horizon 3, which obviously we're still going to get,
Yeah, like
but
2 years or
it's
something.
yeah,
Like yeah.
hopefully. And I said I'll just read what I sent to him because I think it's the best way without me rambling to judge up my thoughts. I said, "Is it exactly what I want from Horizon or from PlayStation? No. But does it look like complete live service slop? Also, no."
Yeah.
I said, "Does it look competent and does it have potential to be fun with a lot of polish? Yes. Am I the biggest fan of the art style? No. And with all of that, am I going to prejudge it and jump to conclusions? No." I said, if it doesn't end up being for us, then that's so be it. But I said that I prefer for if a live service game from a Sony studio has to exist, which apparently they do, I prefer for them to take at least some form of risk, which I think that this is, a departure from the visual aesthetics of Horizon, and switching up gameplay as much as it is a bit controversial considering it's canon. I'm like, how does that work? Like you said, but I think that I don't know. I understand some people criticizing it, saying it's going for the Fortnite aesthetic, and it
Mm-hmm.
looks a bit homogenous compared to all the other games like this. And I get that, but I also think I can't remember where I saw it, but I saw somebody say, making a point, and I said it on Discord earlier as well, that a lot of games, especially live service games, go for these kind of heavily stylized art styles because it makes it far more streamlined for them to create additional assets
Mm-hmm.
um, in terms of new content. You can imagine if this was a Horizon game that had the visual fidelity of the base games, making like brand new monsters or entirely new environments and missions to complete, it's going to be a damn sight easier to do it with this art style than it would be with what we've come to expect from Horizon. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
that disconnect is probably going to take time for people to acclimate to, because I've already seen some people say, I've watched this a few times now and the art style isn't quite as off-putting. Again, that being said, this game probably isn't for me, but I
Do
am willing to give it the benefit of the doubt for
do
now.
you plan to jump in, like pick it up? If it say it's $40, like, are you
Maybe.
maybe?
I mean, like I said, I signed up for the play test. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if I'll get in,
Yeah,
but
but
if
you
I
won't
get
sign
in
up
and
for
I
the kiln one with me.
uh oh yeah, darn, I've got to get around to that.
I'll sign up for this one if you sign up for the kiln one.
That is a hard bargain you're driving there, sir.
All
Rain check. I'll get back to you on that one.
right, all right.
Yeah, but if I do get in and I try it out, I'll earnestly give it a shot, and I could see myself picking it up. It's not like an immediate no. It's a probably no, but I'm a very big fan of Horizon. And they did say in this deep dive that they put out that like there is a single player campaign and you can play it with bots. Um, and that they have cut scenes and there is an actual story going on that's likely going to be supplemental to the main core of the game, which is the multiplayer repeatable content. But that could be enough to hook me in if I see more of that prior to launch. I guess the question is though, Kev, when is this coming out?
I was just gonna ask you that because the way they're phrasing it, like, "Hey, we're doing our closed alpha or beta." Did it just say technical
I think
test?
it's just a play test, but I
Okay,
imagine I imagine it's like a alpha.
yeah. In my mind, this is 2027.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like if it was this year, they probably would have done this test already.
Mm,
And if it was closer, they'd phrase it as like a beta,
yeah.
like a technical server test, stuff like that. This doesn't scream this year to me. This screams, hey, we're trying to prepare to get this game out. We need your help to like give us feedback. What do you like? What do you don't like? So we can go back and fix it over the next year and a half.
Yeah. And to give them credit, I think that that is a good plan. Assuming that it is a 2027 game, that gives them a lot of time to work on any feedback from these playtests. And you would imagine there's probably going to be another at least one or two throughout the rest of this year. They might even open it up, which would be a good idea, I think, as well. Hopefully they can then action that feedback and improve the game. I mean, I know I saw that there were some creators that have been playing it for the past 4 or 5 months,
Mm.
and they've been giving feedback as well. They're clearly trying to avoid another sort of Concord situation.
Yes, they are.
And I think that they sort of were halfway there with what they've done with Marathon of delaying it and giving play tests and stuff. And I think that this is like the evolution of that, where they are really getting out ahead. They are announcing it before it leaks, before any insider or playtester breaks NDA. They're getting out there announcing the game and they're showing it off and hoping to garner some interest and make the best product when it comes out. The one thing I will say though, Kev, that kind of that doesn't concern me but irks me slightly is, unless there is a reason that we aren't quite cognizant of yet, I'm not sure why they've done it right now.
I was just gonna say, why didn't they announce this at a state of play that's rumored for next week, right?
Not just that, but they are doing it, they're doing this playtest immediately before they launch Marathon in early March, right? So they're like, come playtest the live service for us just before you buy our live service. And then in addition to that, something that we've forgotten to talk about, but is apparently coming relatively soon.
Fair games.
No, that's never coming. Ghost of Yotei Legends.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that too.
Which isn't like a live service thing, right?
No, but
just
it's a
supplementary multiplayer
PvE
mode.
experience.
But exactly. And that is apparently early 2026. And we haven't heard a peep from that. So you'd imagine that will show up at the state of play, I would have thought. But yeah, I feel like wait until Marathon is out. Even if you didn't want to show it at the state of play because you want to spotlight Legends, which is just about to come out or whatever, that I could understand that. But wait until after the state of play, wait till Marathon's launched and people are sinking into that. I don't know that you want to sort of flood the field right now, again, unless there's something that we aren't quite aware of yet that would have forced their hand, so to speak.
I just wonder how much overlap there is between those two audiences, like the
That's also true.
Marathon and the Horizon player base. I'm not sure there's much there to worry about, especially because like one's PvP, PvE focused, and the other's strictly PvE. So I think it can coexist. And again, it's just a play test. Like it probably won't be that long of an experience. Hope you get in, and if you're able to talk about it, that would be cool. I assume they'll put you under NDA though, but
likely,
yeah. I don't know. I'm interested to see how it does. Like it either comes out and bombs or the Horizon. Excuse me, the Horizon name. Yeah, it's getting me already.
Herman Hulse was like force choking you.
The Horizon name carries it to like success, just because like they've sold over 30 million units of Horizon. Although Lego Horizon didn't carry them to success with the name, so there is the possibility this comes out in creators, but I think we have to wait and see before we ultimately judge it.
I mean, and two other things like we talked about will we just prefer Horizon 3? I think that not to prejudge this game or to cast an opinion on it, but I am in the back of my mind holding on to the idea for now. It depends on when we see Horizon 3, I think, that will impact how I feel about this game in retrospect. Because if this game comes out in 2027, like we're expecting, and Horizon 3, because of this game, is further out than we might hope or expect, I think then the judgment on the game and its level of success, as you say, whether it craters or manages to find a bit of an audience or whatever, I think that will then factor into my judgment of its success and worthiness as a product. Because if, let's say, this game comes out and it does okay, but doesn't light the world on fire and sort of tapers off relatively quickly, and then as a result of this game needing the support both prior to launch and then post-launch, that then means that Horizon 3 we don't see until like 2029 or something. I'm going to be pretty irked.
I think it would be crazy for Horizon 3 not to be 2028 at the latest. Like
that would be my thought as well. That would be my thought as well. But I do remember seeing, granted this was, I guess, end of 2024, so this was a little while back now. But Schreier did, when he said that the next thing from Guerrilla was going to be this Horizon multiplayer game, he did say at that point that Horizon 3 was still a ways off. Now, end of 2024, looking at 2028, that is a ways off. So hopefully that is the pipeline. And I know for a fact that not all of Guerrilla has been working on this game. So they are kind of working in tandem on both this and Horizon 3. So you just hope that once this game is kind of primed and mostly ready to go, they're going to be like, everybody over here,
Yeah, I imagine so. Again, I don't think this is a full studio type of
No, no.
project that they need to have people working on. This looks like a very contained multiplayer experience to me. So I don't know. Again, I'm not overly excited for it. I assume we'll see and hear more of it in the year to come.
Yeah. And as a byproduct, they've announced it now. So that means that the one more thing at the state of play can be the God of War, Metroidvania.
Yes, yes, yes. Sorry, best we can do is Pragmata.
Mm, banger.
Well, I did want to jump into. We didn't have a Patreon topic this week. I asked, nobody wrote in. Y'all let me down. Don't let it happen again.
Traitors.
I did want to talk about this briefly. There's not too much to talk about, but the Steam machine.
Yeah.
Valve came out with a statement last night and was like, "Yo, guy." I'm paraphrasing here. I didn't say "yo, guys," but basically they came out
Gabe
and
Newell
said,
came up on stage.
they said, our intention was to launch this the new products, the Steam Frame, Steam Machine, the controller, early in 2026. They initially said Q1. They said, due to the RAM shortages, the memory shortages, that has now been pushed to the first half of 2026. So essentially, they delayed it 1 to 3 months, depending on when they can get everything in order. I think maybe the bigger news is like in that blog post, they came out and was like, we wanted to come out and say, this is the release date, this is the price point, but we can't do that right now because we have to figure out like what is going on, like what makes sense from an economic standpoint to launch this machine into the current market. And I know a lot of people very excited for the Steam machine. I know people yesterday on social media asking for it, like, where are you? And then Valve put out this post. And I think it's good because they said Q1.
Mm.
We're into February. We hadn't heard anything. So, like, obviously, people are getting a little nervous. I don't know if this is the update people wanted to hear. I think this might be the expected update based on what we had been hearing, like the rumblings, like this is really going to impact them because they probably didn't have this mass produced, right? Like they didn't pull a PlayStation and say, hey, don't worry guys, we've already got our supply secured, like we won't be affected. Seemingly is what they're saying. Like this very much seems to me like they're still in the, we got to manufacture these things, we got to build the machines and get them to the consumers, and we don't know what that looks like at the moment. So Steam machine delayed. Hopefully they can hit that first half of this year for the people that are really looking forward to this. But at this point, and I don't know if you disagree, but like $1,000, $800, like I think we're looking at a pretty pricey machine, unfortunately.
Yeah. I would, prior to this, I would have wagered it would be like somewhere in the 700 to 800 mark. I think we're likely breaching at the very least 900 now. Because again, if there wasn't going to be a pricing change, they wouldn't have said that they can't announce the price yet. So, um, I still have faith that Valve will try to be as not necessarily like taking losses on the hardware, but as fair to the consumers as they can be. And I think that being this transparent is evident of that. So I think that Valve have sort of proven themselves to be a reliable company in that regard, trustworthy, and they put out good stuff. So I remain optimistic about the Steam machine managing to come out as they say it is. I think that if there was a chance of it slipping again or some problems arising, they probably wouldn't have committed to first half. I think they probably would have just said, we're still planning to launch this year or something like that. So hopefully it is only a minor delay, like you say. Just hey, it gives them more time to polish up Half-Life 3.
That is something that we kind of has fallen off the rumor mill. Half-Life 3. I haven't seen any new reports about it since it was might be the Game Awards, or it might launch with the Steam machine, and maybe that's still the plan. But like, eh, I at this point, the Steam machine release date isn't known, so I don't know how people can feel confident about Half-Life 3 coming out. What I will say is we talked extensively about our hopes and dreams for the Steam Machine on a previous episode when it was announced. But I think if you get this out first half this year, especially hearing what people have been saying, AMD came out and said like it looks like the next Xbox is still coming next year. Like they were like, hey, we're working with Valve to launch the Steam Machine, Xbox. Like they need to beat Xbox to market because that is
Yeah.
their direct competition at this point for this type of machine, a PC console hybrid. So they need to beat Xbox out. They ideally beat them in price as well. And I don't know if we'll even get an Xbox price anywhere near this year. That's probably a next year thing. But like,
Yeah.
make this as affordable for consumers as you possibly can. It will certainly go a long way. I still think they need to be in retailers, but I doubt that's going to happen. It seems to me at the moment that they very much are going the Steam Deck route. Like everything that they've said and the way they're handling it makes me believe that they want to handle this internally. I do think, and this is my one criticism of what the statement they put out. I think there might be a little PR going on with the
Mm,
I don't know if you read it, but they're like, we've seen some questions about the power of the
yeah.
machine. And they're like, we've done it great testing, and modern games can play at 4K 60 with FSR enabled. And I'm
Sure,
like,
buddy.
I you're just lying to us. You're just like I don't mean to call them out, but you straight up are lying to us if you are saying
What
that
games?
this machine can play games at 4K 60 with FSR. FSR is not the best upscaling technology. And I know as someone that uses AMD products, like NVIDIA's DLSS is a much better upscaling product. I think FSR is fine. I have no problem with it. Like my games look great, but I also play on 1080p monitors. I care more about frame rate. If
Mhm.
I'm not trying to push to 4K, my machine is a lot more powerful than the Steam machine is going to be. All right.
Yep.
So, like, you're just not gonna have that experience. And I feel like they're putting out numbers and setting expectations maybe a little too high. That's all I'm saying. A little PR speak. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's fair. I don't proclaim to be a tech wizard, but it does appear that it's going to be somewhat hamstrung by the specs that it has. But I again, even with that, I remain optimistic about its prospects. I think it's. I agree with you that I would prefer for it to be on like retail shelves and things like that. But I understand why they aren't interested in doing that necessarily, and having it be more like a direct to order kind of product. I mean, the likelihood is that that's what the next Xbox is going to be as well. So I think that, like you say, that the main thing for them is getting out ahead of that, and just doing what they need to do to establish themselves in the market as if not dominant force, just very potent, sort of front of mind thought when people are thinking about these sort of new hybrid type devices. So we'll see. We'll see.
I saw some strange reporting on the new Xbox. They're like, is the Epic Game Store going to be on the next Xbox? I'm like, yeah, it's a PC. Why is this? Where's the games media been the last year and a half? Like, haven't we covered this already?
Yeah, I saw a number of places being like exclusive Epic Game Store is going to be on the next Xbox. It's like
That's not exclusive. We've all known that.
I could have guessed that myself a year and a half ago.
Yeah, it's pretty. I don't know. I don't know. I'm interested to see where we go from here. It seems like the PS6 might actually be delayed. Like AMD didn't mention it. It's weird for
Yeah.
them to mention Xbox and Steam and not PS6. Like they're working with PlayStation too, so
Yep.
that kind of lends more credibility to what we were talking about last week, where I think it probably is going to be delayed. Xbox seems not to be concerned, and I don't blame them because as we've said multiple times, like I don't think the RAM and memory shortage is ultimately going to affect them that much. Like they're already making a pricey premium product that will most likely not need to be as mass produced as PlayStation 6. Like it's going to be ultimately a niche device, I think.
Yep. Yeah, it's I mean, on basically every front in the console slash hybrid PC, whatever we're calling it now, space. We're entering uncharted waters. It's going to be an interesting few years to see what happens and how things shake out, because I feel like there are educated guesses about you can make about what's going to happen and where things are sort of going to land roughly, but I I can't confidently say that because I could easily make the assumption that, oh well, PS5 is going to coast off of GTA 6 and first party kicking back up into gear over the next couple of years, and even if they come out afterwards, they might be able to get it cheaper. But the Steam machine could come out and just completely change things. I'm not expecting it to, but it could. And the Xbox could figure something out. I mean, we don't want to get too crazy here, right? But maybe it does. Maybe it
Yeah,
does.
everything's a possibility. I didn't think the Steam Deck was going to, and
Exactly.
I'm going to say blow up in the way it did. Like I know it's only sold like 5 million units, but like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, nobody's gonna care about that. Like nobody wants a giant handheld like that. And I was proven wrong.
Yep.
These
PS Portal too.
Yeah,
Things like that.
it's
It's
changed the handheld
out
gaming
of
market.
nowhere. Yep.
Yeah. So these things are certainly possible. So
Yep.
we'll just see what happens. But Sam, that will do it for this week's show. Everyone, thank you for hanging out with us. You want to let everyone know where they can find you until next week, Sam?
Of course. Anywhere and everywhere at Sam Heaney, Heaney.
And you can find me at the Muffin Mon everywhere. It's a 1-7I, 0-7A. Follow us at Save the Game Media over on Blue Sky to stay up to date with all our latest content. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button, like the video. We will see you next week.